What is up, guys? It's Flash, back with some more charts and another video. It's Tuesday, September 24, about 5:45 p.m. Eastern. Boy, does it feel good to be back in uranium land. I mean, look at this monthly candle. The month of September has been beauty, an absolute beauty. We are back above that mid-level support that I've highlighted on the chart. And man, it just feels good to take a deep breath. It wasn't exactly fun sitting through that, I won't lie. And if we zoom in on the 2-day, I'm going to put it on the line. And I'm going to bring back the good old sine line, the time cycle that we had been tracking up until this dip, the recent dip. But when we look at this sine line, like price action really follows this like beautifully. I want to say it's like a 240-day time cycle from like bottom to bottom. Oh no, it's 150 days, excuse me. So the way that this ebbs and flows throughout the uranium price, this is URA with the time cycle, the sine line, it comes down beautifully right here, comes up, and then that was a really like a hard down move right into recent price action. And if you guys follow me, I was kind of calling for, some sort of 3 to 5 wave move, like an ABC, takes out that low, really scares people out. It scared me. And then we shot right back above this A, and that I think is kind of a short-term bottom. And when we it plays right into that time cycle, it kind of extended here to the right side of the line and the way up, and now it's going hard up, right? And so the top of this time cycle here is it's Halloween, October 31, 2024. If we extend this out to the right a little bit, you could be looking at early to mid-November in terms of where price could continue going higher, right? If it stays within this time cycle. So, I mean, we kind of forgot about it a little bit, but it's good to bring this back up and just see the heartbeat of the uranium equities, the basket of equities, and maybe diverged a little bit here, but I would say this is kind of right in line with like this one. This one was kind of right in the middle here. Doesn't match up perfectly. It's more of a guideline, right? But it looks pretty good. So that's one thing I wanted to point out. I'm kind of getting ready to look at, this is the price of the metal itself measured in gold. I'm kind of getting ready for this thing to start turning up. I think gold has gone on a huge run. I would anticipate maybe gold getting up to 27, 28, 2,900, maybe 3,000, and then more or less taking a pause. And I think that would kind of give room for the metal to start turning up. And we want to see this going up and to the right and kind of following this bowl. And so I think that would do a number of good things for this uranium market. I touched on this yesterday. Like if we see the metal start turning up against gold, and if we see the basket of equities start turning up against the metal, I mean, that pretty much means the basket of equities is going to skyrocket, right? So we just got to find out which ones are going to do well. I think they're all going to do well, if that were to happen. Where do I want to go from here? I'm kind of looking, I looked at URA measured in the S&P yesterday, URA measured in the NASDAQ. Like, I think we want this to, complete its base, right? And so I've put this on before, kind of, again, a guideline, rounded bottom type situation. I want this to really turn up and break out of the base in order for us to officially call this, URA versus SPX bull market. Another ratio that I did want to look at with you guys was the NASDAQ measured in gold. Put this on the line chart, we'll zoom out. And this is kind of how I'm seeing this right now. I've got a couple channels set up. But what really caught my eye was, back in the early 90s, NASDAQ measured in gold had a similar look and feel, right? It's kind of squeezing into this triangle, this wedge formation, squeezing in, and then it really shot off and had that blow up top. That was, I think, the dot-com bubble. And so, we talk about AI. Is that really going to be a big bubble? Like, is it already in a bubble? Has it even had its bubble yet? I think this ratio will be able to tell us a lot about that story. I am anticipating this breaking down. I think gold looks so strong, it's going to continue being strong. Gold looks really good versus the S&P 500, for example. But you cannot deny like the way that the similarities in the way this structure looks. So, but we'll know if NASDAQ breaks out of this versus gold, breaks out of this, channel right here and goes and has a blow off top, like we're going to know that's occurring and we'll be able to track it and probably play it, right? But I think just something really to keep an eye on, something that's really interesting. Another ratio that I like to follow is Bitcoin measured in CCJ. Kind of a lot going on in this chart here. But I mean, there are a lot of lines on this chart. This just looks like a big head and shoulders, like, man, massive topping structure, right? And so we're gonna know if Bitcoin is gonna break out of this versus CCJ, or if it's gonna break down and CCJ is gonna take hold. So I just love to track these ratios. I think they're so fascinating. But we look at some of the A players today, like a lot of green on the board. You have Bannerman up 12%, FSY up 12%, Lotus up 18%, Laramide up 14%. Like, the tide is kind of changing. It's coming back a little bit, right? And go back onto the 2-day, and here's that sign line again. So we'll hide this for now. And I mean, here's kind of what I'm tracking. Like, this is a breakout line right here. You make the argument we've already broken out on URA. What I'll also do is pull up the momentum. We'll go to the weekly. Ignore these other lines, but this is what I really want to focus on is like we're right at the weekly resistance in terms of the 3-year moving, or the 36 period moving average. So we're about to break out of that, it looks like, and I think like that's pretty much our sign that we are back. The title of my video yesterday was "We Are So Back," and I do think we're back. So we'll keep this on the big picture for now. We looked at some ratios today. We'll throw the 3-year moving average on. We touched that. We bounced off it. We're above the Ichimoku cloud. Man, good things to come, I think. Good things to come. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you like this, drop me a like. Drop me a sub. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good night.